How's it going, people? It's Liam Caddison here, and we're reacting to episode 2 of season 2 for Angel. I'm excited to be continuing this season because I thought the first episode for season 2 was good stuff. It had a bit of comedy involved, especially with the demon karaoke, and we got our boy Angel to sing, despite the fact that he was not going to sing in public. He put his foot down. He had to eventually, and it was glorious. I don't care what anyone has to say. There was also a bit of sincerity, as there was a bit of a blip in the road for Angel's path of redemption after he killed the Prio demon, mistakenly thinking he was a threat, but he was actually the protector of this pregnant woman, and Angel took his place in the tribunal fight, which he won. So, yeah, it's all well and good, and yeah, I'm excited to see what episode 2 has in offer. So with that said, let's get into episode 2 of season 2 for Angel. Let's go.
No telling how long it's been empty.
From the look of it, years.
English breakfast tea?
Use it as your new base of operations.
Oh, pause.
Do we suspect its current condition is due to more than just the tourist trade drying up?
That is trademark drink. Like coffee for me. O positive for him.
Residents on the grounds of the heebie-jeebies. Now, if we did, we'd have to
Exactly.
shut down, wouldn't we?
You ever look into his eyes? There's nothing there.
Now, we don't judge a book by its cover. See, this guy doesn't give you the heebie-jeebies unless he's angelus. No. I have a feeling we're in a time where being anything but a straight white male is kind of frowned upon with the racism, and it looked like them two were a thing. I don't like whispers. Scary. Whoa. Oh, I thought it was that guy. It was like, whoa, what the fuck?
You won't mind if I just come in and take a look around then?
Oh, really, buddy? Oh!
Yes, I do, Mom. He's going down.
He did go down.
Gosh. I mean, that was... Gosh. Listen, I know we got off on the wrong foot. My name is Judy.
Hi, Judy. Bye, Judy. Hey, look, I've got tight headphones on. Don't like the whispering.
Yes?
Knock it off.
Yes, I did. Yes, I do.
So they're answering to this creepy son of a bitch. This is what they were talking about with the man jumping from the roof and taking 2 people with him. Oh shit.
Oh, I guess it's nicer than some places.
It's a place.
Listen,
Angel's explored pretty much it
I know
all.
you didn't want to before, but you helped me. You did, and I needed to thank you for that.
He's still wrestling with himself, isn't he? Like, after the turn.
You're gonna miss the end of the world.
I've been passing since I was 15 years old.
Passing.
Passing.
For white. My mother was colored. My father...
Oh.
I didn't even know him. My blood isn't pure.
It's all just blood.
Nobody believes that. Not even my mother's family. I'm not one thing or the other. I am nothing.
I know what that's like.
That is heartbreaking.
Yes.
Especially with
Yes, I
how
am.
relevant it is.
Your former employers. They were afraid. That's why they fired you.
What am I going
Exactly.
to do?
Exactly.
I am trapped.
You're not trapped.
I am. Look, if I leave now, it'll look
People
too
do
suspicious.
stupid
but if I stay here and the
actions.
cops find this,
They're not gonna find it.
Especially if it's based on
Doesn't
judging
help
people
you.
because of who they are.
Paranoia demon. Whispers to its victims, feeds on their innate insecurities.
Wow!
Angel wants to talk to you.
Ah.
Hello? That's the last time
Still.
in this place, even before they started building it. Thought if I had you trace the events, possessing entities, demonic suggestions, exorcisms, cleansing rituals. Try this one.
Oh, you dick!
Right. Run, coward of the night, and tell your buddies I am.
You won't take your phone call, comrade.
Pansy.
Red.
And what seems to be the trouble?
There's a murder in this hotel.
And we're gonna find out who.
Oh, because of the demons feeding on the insecurities. Oh no, she's.
They'll turn you in.
Yeah. 'Cause
How?
Well, the incantation's there in the book, but you're gonna need an orb of Ramjarim. Now, I got one I can let you have for cheap.
For free. Okay.
You'll also need sacred herbs.
You know what? If he had
Divine
an
powder,
English
and
accent,
something
I
really big to
wouldn't.
hit it with.
I
Feel
would
it.
be speculating
Mind.
he would be
Hard
Giles's
to have
father.
lightning.
We call thee forth, Thezulak of the Netherworld. We command
Got
you
Gunnin
leave
as
our
well, which is
minds
awesome.
and join us on this, the physical plane.
Orb of Ramjarim, please, makes it happen.
Please. And do be careful.
Look at his room. Go ahead. Look, he's got blood. He's a monster.
Oh, is this the
What kind
demon?
of maniac are you?
Oh, shit. It gets so much joy, doesn't it?
Yeah! Swing, you freak! Yeah, that's right, you had that coming.
This makes me nauseous. Not gonna lie, like the aggression, the attitude people have.
My lord. Well, I don't know about you, but I'm stuffed. God,
Yeah,
I love
you get a kick out of manipulating people, you
Don't you?
tentacly weird bastard.
What a beautiful, beautiful dance.
This guy's giving me Palpatine vibes, but like, let the hate flow
See
through
now what
you.
happens with
Like
an
it.
entire hotel here just full of tortured souls who could really use your help. What do you say?
Die.
Take them all.
Oh shit.
Kitchen's closed.
Now bill him. He's been scrounging for the last 50 years. Unlimited power!
What did it mean, especially that one?
Wesley's so done. He is pissed. Is this...
Judy.
Oh my god.
I don't hear them anymore.
Am I safe?
You're safe.
This is...
Can I go out now?
You can go out. Let me help you.
Oi, oi, oi. This is, very emotional.
I need to take a little rest first. Just for a minute. And then I'm going to go out.
Oi, oi, oi,
I've been
my
accused
heart.
of a great many things in my time. But paranoid has never been one of them.
Bad vibes.
We're moving in.
I mean, if you throw pillows, what's not to like?
Is this gonna be the new base?
Surely
Yes!
you, more than anyone, must appreciate how for the better part of the last century, this place has been host not only to a malevolent demonic presence, but the very worst faces of humanity.
It can get its redemption, this building.
You don't find me especially paranoid, do you? Not especially. Oh, thank God. I was worried.
I just love how Wesley is so done with the comment from that demon. That really rustled his tea bags to a degree, but that was a that was, especially with the times that we are currently living in. It was very emotional, and it also created a very great storyline, like excluding the social issues that were brought up with the demon itself and how it attacked on the insecurities of people and essentially fed on them. So yeah, but there was definitely elements of emotion, and yeah, I was joking about, let's make the hotel into into a base. It's empty, and the money you can fund that for your base of operations. So the FBI aren't looking for it anymore. So, but I like the idea that this hotel was corrupted. It was bad news. As Wesley said, it held some of the worst faces of humanity. Let it find its redemption, like Angel. What an episode. Yikes, that episode was phenomenal stuff. It might be one of my favorite told Angel stories so far, just with the pacing, the story itself, how emotional it became. It was just well done. And I just really loved how this episode went by. It was phenomenal stuff. Yeah, it's one of my favorite episodes of all time by a long shot, just with how emotional it got. The relevancy of the time of recording to what's happening in the real world with this episode might play a bit of a factor as well, but as a story itself, it was just well told. It was just greatly fleshed out. The Fuzlak demon, I think it was, the design was eerie and good stuff. The hotel was wonderful, and I kind of hoped with the emptiness of the hotel that, okay, we could possibly use that as a base, and lo and behold. And it makes sense given that Angel, he was cold. He let the demon feast because of the fact that people basically betrayed him. His faith in humanity, that faith he grew with Judy, and the faith in humanity that broke so much. And we saw throughout this episode how cold Angel was when the guy shot himself. He just continued drinking his O positive drink. So yeah, he was. I feel like this episode showed the transition between Angel, who has just wrestled with being Angelus for all of this time, and the Angel we see today. He was still transitioning. And it was just so eerie because it was like seeing present day Angel, a bit more colder, mixed with the 1950s theme. So it was just a very interesting sight to behold. And yeah, it was very, very cold, and in a sense, it was kind of like it was kind of understandable why Angel, someone who's felt so isolated, he told the demon, feast away, I don't care, because he's been betrayed so much by humanity. And I'm sure we've all had those. It's a mistake from him, and he recognizes that now. Um, like Judy's asking for forgiveness, he feels bad that Judy has spent all of this time stored away in this hotel, when he just lost faith in humanity. And we've all had a lack of faith in humanity at some point or another, where to the point where we just want to get off this planet, that people can be the worst monsters of all time, etc., etc. And he just lost it there, especially since the fact that he spent all of this time alone and he hasn't really connected with any human. And then he meets Judy. There was a connection going on there. Judy, with help with the paranoia demon, betrayed him, and the people basically ganged up on him. And it was horrific because this is the 1950s. And we saw examples of racism and hatred for anything other than a straight white male being presented throughout this episode. We saw those two guys. I think they were in like some kind of relationship, but they shifted their like appearance as soon as Angel looked. They were living off that power. And if this episode teaches you anything, it was that people were living in I feel like this was the perfect time frame, if anything, to expose that paranoia demon, because that's it. Being anything but straight left you to being scared. I mean, you're still scared nowadays. Like, there are still it's not exactly cleared up all of these issues with people hating on anyone but a straight person, or anyone hating on anyone but a white person. They're still present in this day, but they're more relaxed compared to what it was in the 1950s. So that's why I'm saying this is a perfect time frame to unload on that paranoia demon, where people might be of different color, where people might be of different sexuality, and it's more frowned upon, sadly, then than it is now. So yeah, but I'm sure those people were had a thing, and as soon as Angel looked, they snapped in their like appearance. They tried to hide it because of that paranoia. And Judy's story was very, very heartbreaking. When she revealed about how she was fired, and how people discovered about her being mixed race, and that brought a lot of commotion, sadly. And there was a very heartbreaking, and I feel like, deep line in this episode where she said something about, my blood isn't pure, it's tainted, and Angel said, it's just blood, it's all just blood. And that's it. At the end of the day, we are all human. And this episode really hit strongly because in the time of recording, black people are a huge focus as of this moment because of the George Floyd murders. And people have had enough of the discrimination against black people, and we are seeing police officers showing their true colours in attacking peaceful protesters, for example, And it's really heartbreaking. And at the end of the day, it just makes you think that, like, for those who are not racist, why? It's 2020. We are supposed to have moved on from 1950s, and we are supposed to accept that we are all human at the end of the day. And people just treat anyone other than white as, like, garbage, and it breaks your heart so much. Like, seeing what happened to George Floyd, how those officers murdered him in cold blood because of the fact that he was a different color, just crushed your heart. And seeing all these people getting attacked, same with that. So I feel like it's just blood. It's all just blood at the end of the day. Has a great meaning to, we are all human. No matter what our skin color is, we are still human at the end of the day. We should not be based on our skin color. And that's it. We should not face certain treatment just because we are a different color of skin. We are still human at the end of the day. And it's heartbreaking seeing that, like, in the 1950s. And when you look at things, 70 years on, and it just breaks your heart. So, and as well as the fact it's not just those issues that I talked about, but there was one scene in particular, and I'm keeping in mind with the fact that we're in 1950s, at the time that was more, that explored more social issues than present day. There was a scene where Angel got hung, and with things not being a bit more relaxed for people of color until, especially the black community, until the next decade, there was a scene where Angel was hung. And there was also a comment that I integrate with this. It was because the bellboy was a bit skeptical of Angel because he was strange. And he got so jolly seeing him hung. And during the 1950s, I just couldn't help but think, with the racial issues that they explored, I just couldn't help but think back to, this is what black people sadly suffered from back then. So, and I commend this show for not shying away from the social issues that stemmed in the 1950s. I think they did a very good job. It just really breaks your heart seeing that, and seeing how 70 years later we are seeing an influx of abuse to black lives, and it just really breaks your heart. So this is why this is a very, very powerful episode, especially in this current time period. Because whereas racism has never died down, it's still been there. It was very prominent before the 1960s, and it's a very prominent subject today with the murder of George Floyd and the abuse of officers. Not all the officers, because I've seen some very humbling videos of police officers standing by the protesters. So yeah, but you just see some of the police officers abuse their power and attack peaceful protesters as well. Like, there are some protesters that do take things a bit OTT, but there are peaceful protesters who are not harming anything, and they just get attacked, and it breaks your heart so much. So this was a very, very powerful episode in this current time period that we are in this current time frame that we're living in right now, because of the protests, because of the murder, and how much you do feel for Black lives. So yeah, and you felt so bad for Judy as well because of the discrimination that she got in this episode. And yeah, it was just really powerful. And there was even a little bit of foreshadowing as well, when I think there was, like, this family that was turned away, and the guy said, even though it says we have vacancies, there are no vacancies, which does, yeah, it did strike me then when we opened those kind of worms. So yeah, but it was very, very powerful stuff. Yeah, I really loved how this episode went by. Just narratively speaking, and it was just heartbreaking for Judy that she remained at that hotel all this time. She was being harvested for these 50 odd years, and that just breaks your heart even more. Especially with the idea that she just wanted forgiveness for what she felt was a betrayal to Angel, and she could finally rest knowing that she has been forgiven by Angel, which I really like the parallels between Angel and Judy, because they both walk in worlds where they're not wanted. With Judy, there are despicable racists out there, and there was a family. I think she made mention about how her family disowned her, and with Angel, he walks a world where he's a vampire with a soul, so he's hated on both sides of the spectrum. And they're both wanting their own way of forgiveness. Angel is, as we know, exploring his path to redemption, and Judy wanted to be forgiven to what she felt she did to Angel by betraying him. So, and now now she's gotten that because of the fact that Angel's a bit more softer in terms of the emotion. He was cold back then, because it was very interesting seeing the differences to Angel that we know today and Angel back then, how he was very much more colder. And yet he was sporting a bit more brighter costume in terms of his appearance, because he was wearing blue shirts and red shirts. So I want to see more of that, because red shirts especially, because yeah, they're awesome. Not being biased because I love red, but no. It was very interesting seeing a colder Angel back then, and seeing this mystery that took place, because I was worried that Judy would be the demon, but it was then revealed, then we saw its true face, and very, very, very morbid. So yeah, especially with the tentacles there. And I loved Wesley getting in a state of hysteria about the fact that the demon called him out. That was very, very comical stuff. But yeah, it was very good going along this episode, piecing things together, especially when Wesley and Cordy were as well. We were following the story, the bellboy was sentenced for murder, and then you see him later in the episode. And I think this was after the paranoia washed away from him, showing his true feelings, because he resented he was skeptical of Angel, and he got so jolly of his hanging, so that was pretty morbid. But like I said, I couldn't blame Angel for the character that he was back then. He was so isolated, and Judy may have been his first human connectivity in terms of him with his soul. And he got betrayed. He felt so hopeless. It was like he was given hope, and then it was snatched away from him. That's what it was. And so he told the demon, "Feast away. I've just been betrayed." And humanity has shown that they can be deceitful, and that's what it was. And like I said, whilst this might this reflects bad, Angel can reflect on this and think, I shouldn't have done this. Especially with what he was going through, especially with the isolation he was suffering, and especially with how this was his first betrayal from humanity. It broke your heart. And like I said, I think we've all had bouts where we are just sick of the human race for what they are doing. And whereas we would never, or at least I'd hoped any of us would never think of, okay, well, we should have genocide against humanity, etc. We wouldn't think that. we are angered by some of the actions that the human race does impose against other people. Like, I got so revolted one time during the whole coronavirus pandemic, seeing not just people spitting in the faces of key workers and the NHS by celebrating on Westminster Bridge, not it, completely disregarding the 2-meter rule. But it was the police as well. They chimed in. Someone who should like tell these people you shouldn't be like less than 2 meters apart. They advocated if anything. And I remember thinking back that day, should I say, I am disgusted because these people are essentially spitting on the faces of the NHS workers. The police are advocating this. It's just revolting. This is just like a spit in the face, and I am just so done. I got so infuriated with that. So this is what I'm talking about. We don't wish genocide on humanity, but we are betrayed by humanity, where we just give up. And I'm sure a lot of us have those emotions at some point where we just give up, and that was Angel at this point. Except he was a lot more colder. He was more isolated, and he was still getting to grips with being human. So, and that's what I'm talking about. We're in this in between state with Angel and Angela. So, yeah, but this was a really good episode. Very powerful stuff. It really got me emotional, and yeah, like I said, I think this was one of the best episodes of Buffy the Vampire, not Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Angel. I think I'm watching that next, anyways. But this was one of the best episodes of Angel. It was really powerful. Like I said, I'm glad they didn't shy away from the social issues that were pretty much prominent in the 1950s. They did explore that, and in such heartbreaking fashion as well. It was a good way to explore and not just that though, but the demon itself was very great. Like, it's such a vulnerable concept for humanity because we do feel bouts of paranoia, even in the smallest cases. It's such a vulnerable concept to attack in terms of the human anatomy. We will suffer those bouts of humanity. So the concept of the demon was very, very good stuff. But yeah, I really liked this. Episode, and I'm glad that they're utilizing the hotel as their new base of operations. Because Angel was not just the fact that, like, as Wesley said, this hosted some of the worst faces of humanity, and that ties into the whole redemption thing, but also Angel has a chance to make up to make up for what he did. He gave up so easily, someone could say, and now this is the second chance to do better. So this is kind of like atoning in both sins, like for the hotel itself hosting the worst, as Wesley put it, but also for Angel to make up for what he did back in the 50s. So I really liked it, and it's very vibrant as well. So yeah, but that was Angel episode 2, season 2. Very emotional stuff, one of the best episodes for Angel, and yeah, I loved it. So yeah, I will see you guys next time. Hope you guys enjoyed this reaction. You can check my videos on the right if you want to check out more of my content. You can also subscribe to my media feeds and channel if you want to. Hope you guys enjoyed this reaction. Hope you guys take care, and I will see you guys next time. Toodles!